Hey, what is going on, everybody? Blaze for here, and today for you guys another video of Persona 5X. Inside today's video, guys, we're going to be talking about the things that Atlas can utterly do to this game to utterly make it fail. Now, this is going to be covering, of course, the current versions, of course, and things that they can do on global. So if you guys are interested in this, be sure to sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Now, as always, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button, whether you tune in here for just Atlas talks or either if you tune in here for Persona 5X talks as well. But so the topic of today is going to be fairly interesting, because as a gacha game, one of the main issues with them is how sometimes companies can get a little bit too greedy and do things that utterly harm the game in the long run. Now, luckily so far, P5X has not done this, and they have not done anything that even resembles closely to this just yet. But it is a downfall that happens with most gachas that, of course, we have to talk about today. So here's some things that Atlas can do, well, cannot decide to do, that can utterly destroy this game. So we don't want any of them to actually do these ideas. So one thing's first is immediately going to come down to the shop. Now, shop currently how it is perfectly fine. There's nothing crazy like insane about it. But one of the few things that I truly need them not to do is notification spam the Christ out of it, right? So as usual, we do of course have new and stuff like this, but this doesn't ever notify like crazy, right? It's here, it just sits there, and that's how it should always be. It's never like flashing something in your face 24/7 the second you literally get on the game. Like, you're not getting flashed like, oh, I want this, get this pack. You're not getting flashed with, oh, purchase $100 or anything like that, right? Where things can become an issue that straight up Atlas can actually make a huge mistake here, or even Sega, whoever's going to be running the global side of things as well, is if they really start to make the shop like there, right? It's always predatorily, always there in front of you, notification spamming you to death, absolutely in your face 24/7. And with this comes in the option of even higher pay to win packs, right? So there's usually packs in here that gives us pull. That's perfectly fine, and a lot of that is all right, and you can kind of be fine with that at the end of the day. But what I don't want to see in this game is a ton of rebate things, right? So we had a rebate recently, I think it was for the half anniversary, which was perfectly fine, and then we always have this here, which is perfectly fine because this helps out with the roulette. But rebates themselves are going to be a downfall to this game, especially if they are heavily monetized. If things such as like these small packs and stuff like this start to go up in value, if they decide to get a little greedy and start boosting prices, making things crazy in your face for notifications, doing all this stuff, this could lead to the downfall of this game. I really don't want to see that happening, even for the global side as well, because a lot of us global players as well are really looking forward to this game. People who have been really bashing this game as much as they bash at the end of the day, they're probably still going to try this game. And the last thing I want to see is this game absolutely get dog walked due to dumb developer decisions. Okay, we don't want any of that happening. We don't need people getting flashed with a ton of pay to win stuff. And since we're on the topic of pay to win, we also don't want them to introduce a lot more pay to win rewards. This comes down to like really like guild boss. This comes down to SOS. These two like things are our main ranking areas, right? Luckily for all of this here, even though you're ranking, even as a free to play, most free to plays can even get to the second one. Heck, I know there's some free to plays who can get to the 8th if they're just been that crack. And 6 up, most free to plays can pretty much get to. Staying in the 8 stars where things get a little bit harder, but most free to plays can do this. And there's not rewards that are heavily monetized or heavily you need to be the top of something to actually gain a lot of things, right? Let's keep it that way. There's no need to utterly make guilds be crazy. In some games you get like currency for being #1 in your guild, you get all this crazy stuff, while in these games you don't do that. You get some guild currency, nothing too crazy. You get some regular old just some materials, a little badge that you get for the week, and a frame for the week. Let's keep it that way. We don't need anything crazy like gems, any premium currency, any of that stuff. We don't need that. We don't need any costumes that are based on being top 1, anything like that. We do not need that. Reason being is because that is going to then start making there a necessity to spend to then be able to get in said higher guilds to then be able to qualify for those and be able to perform. This is not something we need. We don't need any of that happening. So that rule number one, monetization issues, that needs to not happen. Rule number two, when it comes down to global or anything of this nature, this banner, the premium banner, the guaranteed banner, this needs to stay here. I'm pretty sure it's a permanent fixture, but just saying, devs, never back out on this. On global, keep this here. If you can make it permanent, like at the very beginning of the game, please do so, because this banner is the best thing to a lot of free to play. You just want the character, boom, you get the character at 110 and you're building up pity for 165, meaning you're going to get yourself a guaranteed 5-star once you hit 165 here. And this constantly updates with the standard characters. Keep this in. If you can bring it at the beginning of global, that's even better. This is actually worth it. Do not change this function. This is a function that I really do believe if they took this out, it could ruin the game, because a lot of people didn't like the 50-50 function to begin with. But hey, it's a gotcha. At the end of the day, it does happen. But I would definitely suggest do not remove this function. If you can have it on global release, be sure to have it. It's absolutely amazing. Thirdly, when it comes down to actual characters, balancing. This is something that luckily for us on TWC and KR, we have seen this through and through, and it has been amazing. Balancing for different characters keep happening, whether you're 5-star, whether you're an old 5-star like Joker, who was the first 5-star, whether you're 4 stars, which are all getting reworked, including a ton of 5 stars getting reworked as well. They do balance change. What makes P5 or just Persona itself happy for us is we get to play the characters that we want to play. At the end of the day, we're going to summon for characters we want to see, correct? So one of the things that they have been doing recently is balance patches. If they continue doing this on global, CNTW in that ways, in which I'm pretty sure they are going to, if they continue doing so, this game will be absolutely amazing, because it keeps in that fresh thought process of we can have our characters and use them whenever we want to without any problems. Now, the problem does arise when we can't do that. If there is a possibility that they take that out for global, there's no balancing or anything like that, characters are going to get outdated, things are going to just keep going, getting power crept, that can ruin this game. Don't stop doing this, Atlas. Don't stop doing this at all. Perfect World Games, all of you guys, continue doing this. This is something that's going to utterly make or break your game, and if you continue doing this, it's going to absolutely be fantastic. If you stop doing it and just let the characters die off and stuff like that, that's where we're going to have a problem. You really don't want to do that. So truly do think about that. I really do suggest it. And all right, let's go on to one of my other few gripes for this game as well. Some things I don't want you guys to utterly make pay to win. Now, this is only one other thing, because I've already addressed actual like events and stuff like this. This is something small, but someone brought it to my attention, is confidants, right? Currently confidants, we can just meet whoever we want to do, right? You don't have to have the character or anything like that. On global, there are games that do this as well. If you do not have the character, you can't interact with the character. For the love of God, do not do this. This is a make or break. This is what makes Persona 5 P5. It's what makes Persona itself Persona. Do not get rid of this function. You guys really would like to just crash and burn your chances of ever being a good game, would be just doing any of these things that I've mentioned and just utterly ignoring the warnings. Do not do these things. Do not ruin this game. This is absolutely terrible if you guys decide to do this, so don't do so. Please don't. It's not going to be good. It's going to be terrible. Just for the love of God, listen to the community. Keep your ears open, and as always, this always leads back to the other one. Listen to the community. Be responsive. Be reactive. You guys have currently been doing that quite a lot. You have been listening. You've been adding things. You haven't been like ignoring us. You've been adding game modes. You've been trying to make the game really, really good. The last thing we need is that communication line to be cut off. If you guys do that, it's going to be terrible, most likely at the end of the day. Poor choices are going to be made. Community feedback is never going to be received, and that is where this game will have its downfall. Many of us have seen this with multiple gachas, which gives them that huge bad rap. Many gachas have actually turned into a pay to win fest, and that gives them a horrible rap. Last thing we want to actually see, especially for this game, is it to go down that road as well. Now, if you guys have any other different things that you want to say that could really ruin this game, surely do let me know down below in the comment section. I might actually do a video of like responding to all the comments there that are posted. I'm still not sure about it, but we're probably going to do some things about that, and I might mesh the other 2 videos together as well, that are going to be going over kind of the pros and cons of this. So really do think about it, post a comment down below, share this video with your friends, and hopefully Atlas listens to this, because we don't want this game going down the drain. But till next time, everybody, peace out.